Hey guys, today I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts and things that you should consider to help you decide which cruise ship, which cruise line, what size is right for you for your first cruise. Hey friends, so there are so many questions that come to mind when you think which ship, which cruise line, which kind of stateroom, what is going to be right for me or my family or this situation. So many perfectly good, logically asked questions, and there's no one right answer that fits everybody. However, with me trying all of these different cruise lines, and I've been on smaller ships to the mega ships, I have come to the conclusion that there are some tells and some things that I recommend as a regular cruiser to a first time or new cruiser. So for example, my first cruise was on a very old, very small Carnival ship. And had that been it, I would have probably never cruised again. Why? Well, a small ship rocks more. So there's that. And a small ship didn't have the entertainment that I was looking for. We went on that cruise with a family member that was just head over heels in love with cruising, was like, come with us, you're gonna love it. And then we went on this ship, and within a few days we were bored and we were miserable, and we had kind of sworn it off. And had it not been for my love for Disney, we may have never gotten on another cruise ship again, but we did. So we tried another cruise line on a bigger ship that had more to offer, that was different than the first one we had tried. And we found that it wasn't cruising that we didn't like, it was that ship and that experience that we didn't like. So here are some things to think about when picking a cruise ship. Do I have children? Do I need childcare facilities? And what kind and age group of childcare facilities do you need? If the answer is yes, then I highly recommend Disney if that is in your wheelhouse and in your budget. If it is not, Carnival, Royal Caribbean have some excellent kids clubs. So do some research. If there's a particular cruise line that you're very interested in, make sure you look at what they offer for kids. For example, we just went on the Margaritaville at Sea, and I would not tell anybody with children to go on that cruise because the kids clubs were inadequate. They had them, but everybody that took kids was saying that it was pretty much like a babysitter putting your kids in front of a TV. That's not helpful for most people's kids. Most people's kids are pretty active, but if you have a TV watcher, then maybe it'd be all right for you. All right. Question 2, what size ship do I want to go on? Well, I would say if you are any kind of concerned about motion sickness, stay away from the small ships, at least until you get a feel for what cruising is like and how you react to it. So many people are just like, oh, I get motion sickness in the car, I'm just gonna get motion sickness on the cruise ship. That's not necessarily the case. Some of these big monster ships have these wonderful stabilizers, and you barely feel, if at all, the ship moving. I was recently on Harmony of the Seas, and it was out there while one of the hurricanes was out there chopping things up. I didn't know. I did not know. There was only the slightest knowing. At the very top deck, I could see the water moving in the pool just a little bit, but I did not feel it anywhere else in the ship. You know, and I can get motion sickness. Sometimes a certain roller coaster or a simulator, and sometimes riding in certain cars can make me feel sick. And that first Carnival cruise, I had experienced some motion sickness, but it's not every ship, it's not every situation. So if you are prone to it or you're worried about it, I do recommend the larger ships, at least the mid-size that houses like 2,500 people and up. So you want to go for the mid-class and larger ships for your first time if that's something you're concerned about. There's nothing wrong with the smaller ships. I have, been on some of the smaller ships and they're okay, but they do move more. So keep that in mind if that is a problem for you. Number 3, is this a family cruise? Is this a couples cruise? Is this a solo cruise? Well, depending upon the answer to all of those depends on which cruise line I would push you kind of towards, or maybe encourage you to look at. If it's a couples cruise and you don't want to be around a lot of kids, maybe you want to look at Virgin Voyages. If it's a couples cruise and you're Disney fanatics, don't be scared. We did it and we loved being on Disney as couples. Any ship can be a great ship for couples cruises. There are very few that offer no children. In fact, the only one that I can think of off the top of my head is Virgin Voyages. So if that's important to you to not have children around, Virgin only allows 18 and older. If this is a family cruise, obviously that would not allow you to go on Virgin Voyages unless your children are over the age of 18, which I realize that happens too. Sometimes you cruise with your adult children and that's great, but just, don't get in your mind that all cruises are made for all types of people, because that is not the case at all. Are you a solo cruiser? If you're a solo cruiser, there are a few ships that do offer solo cabins and don't overcharge you to occupy a cabin, because typically cruise ships do their pricing based on at least a minimum of double occupancy. So for example, NCL offers solo cruise cabins, and I think there are a few others too, but just things to think about if you are a solo cruiser and what kind of experience that you want to have as a solo cruiser while looking into these cruise lines. Number 4, are you a foodie? Do you have dietary needs, restrictions? Are you a picky eater? Well, I'm happy to say that every cruise ship I've been on so far, and everyone that I've done any kind of research on, pretty much accommodates all this. Some are better than others though. So like, for instance, Virgin has all-inclusive food package. There's no specialty upcharge dining. So everything that they have to offer, you are welcome to partake of. There are lots of cruise lines like Royal Caribbean. They have lots of included things. They have the main dining and they have a few smaller little venues for you to grab some food that is all included. And then they have upcharge options. NCL also has a lot of included things and then upcharge options. Disney, again, a lot of included, and then they have 1 or 2 upcharge options depending upon the ship you're looking at. That is another thing to consider, is if you say you want Disney Cruise Lines, and I'm picking that one because they have just a few ships. They have 5 in their fleet, and 2 sets are sisters. So you get the Dream and the Fantasy, they're sister ships, so they're very similar. And then Magic and the Wonder are sister ships. And then the Wish is the newest one. There are only certain experiences you can get on individual ships. So you have to do some research once you have picked like your cruise line company that you want to try out, to kind of really get in there and decide like what's important to you. You know, is there a particular show that you really want to see? All the cruise ships have some type of show and entertainment. All of them that I have been on have had your basic trivia, your basic bingo. Everybody has a casino except for Disney. Yeah, everybody's got a casino except for Disney that I'm aware of. If there's another cruise line that doesn't have a casino, drop me a comment in the box below, because I'd like to know. I think it's interesting that Disney doesn't do it and how they fill the space instead. So, you know, if you're a gambler, Disney's not for you because they don't have a casino. And so all these things, there's so much to consider, to think about. before you book your first cruise. So ultimately, I hope I have helped guide you and given you some bearings as of how to navigate the cruise industry. It is a ginormous industry. And if you are not confident and comfortable doing the research on your own, then I recommend reaching out to a travel agent. I am not one, so I can't help you book a cruise, but I can answer all the questions that you might have. So feel free to leave me comments in the comment box below. I'm here for you guys. I want to help you have a great vacation. So what are some other things that you would recommend to new first-time cruisers? Maybe they did one cruise and had a really bad experience and they're like, I'm gonna give it one more try. What would you recommend? Drop some comments down in the comment section below and share your knowledge. We have a large community of cruisers and we'd like to grow that community, because the larger the community, the cheaper the prices should be, because they'll want to build us some more cruise ships, right? So it's good for everybody. Please remember to like and subscribe if this was helpful for you. And we have some great cruises coming up this year, so you want to make sure to follow along. And until the next time, guys, shake a tail feather.